Hello, everyone. Welcome for Grace. And we have Danny here from Northern Comfort Tarot. We are so excited for tonight's topic, all about light workers. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so that you get notified when we go live and also when we upload videos. If you would like to schedule personal readings with me, you can do so on my website today. And having a conversation with Spirit about is a huge topic, and there's a lot of information out there, and we want to bring you some light to the topic, some understanding into what is this whole light worker thing about. What is a light worker? Why are we here on the planet? What is our purpose? So I'll let Danny introduce himself and tell us a little bit about himself and his channel and where you can find him more personally, and then we'll get started.
Oi, Liz. Hey, HL Austin. Hey, Debbie. How's it going, Jess and Miss Joe? My name is Danny G, and I'm from Northern Comfort Tarot. I've got a small little channel that I started up in February, and so far, my light work that I've chosen to, the medium that I've chosen to do my light work has expanded, and so too has my life in abundance, and I'm truly grateful and honored to be here tonight with Jai. Take it away.
So what I wanted to ask you guys is, as we start to ask each other questions and talk about this topic and start to reveal, the information that we know about it, if there's any questions that come up for you guys, please write them down in the chat. We're going to be periodically looking at the chat because we want to make sure that the questions that you have get answered as well. I would like to say hi to everyone who's in here. Hey, Jessica, how's it going? Liz from Australia, welcome in. Austin from Massachusetts. Debbie, good evening. Miss Joe, welcome in. Cynthia, welcome in, you guys. Thank you for being here. So let's just get right to it. I mean, I feel like the most, basic question that you can ask about light workers is, what are they?
What am I?
What am I? Right? What is a light worker? And a light worker, I can give you my definition, and then we'll give you our definitions of them. So a light worker is someone who has chosen to come to the planet and bring more light to this specific planet. That is, on a basic level, what a light worker is. It is a chosen journey. It is a chosen mission. It has a purpose. And as we dive deeper, you'll understand what that can look like, examples of that in your life. And you'll be able to know by the end of this conversation if maybe you are a light worker too. But what's your definition of a light worker, Danny?
My definition comes from within and on my journey, really. It's a feeling of not being able to fit in with this reality, and I've not really kind of held a place similar to that of those of my peers or those that I've grown up with. I felt out of place. And to that, I went searching, and on my journey, I found different aspects of spirituality that were poking away, even through like a darkness of
Oh, it looks like your sound went out for some reason. Oh, wait, there, it just came back.
It didn't really resonate with my feelings inside me. So it's just on my path. I've grown to know that there's this light within me that I need to kind of express. And that light pretty much comes out of this feeling of massive unconditional love for people and for others. And it made me look weird in everyone else's eyes, because in everyone else's eyes, they had their own personas that they were living out. And they always wanted to get to know my persona, but I never really had one. And then that was weird. You know what I mean? So they kept digging deeper, and usually they just overlook me completely and call me a creep or what have you. But my path, there's my definition of light workers is this continual struggle that has led me to a place of enlightenment within me, where I feel comfortable in my own skin, and I have the ability to help others, or others that need help come towards me, and that unknown ability to give, whatever they need as far as advice, or even to show them through mirror imaging what they need to see within themselves, and how they can change themselves and bring their light forward. So that's really what a light worker to me is helping others light shine brighter each and every
Actually, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that definition. And so I feel like so far we've pretty much, made like the obvious very clear, that it has to do with light. But what does that actually mean? Like, what is this light that we're talking about? And when you think of energy in general, and you think of the fact that we are a soul, right? It's like we like to think that our physical body houses our soul, but in reality, there's a lot of theories out there that the soul actually houses the body. And so the soul takes on this bigger role in our lives here on Earth. And there's different categories, you could call them, of incarnating on the planet. If you guys are not aware of reincarnation, it is the idea that you have had many lifetimes on this planet, or on other planets, we can add. And the reason why we reincarnate, and let's just keep, let's keep this mostly to Earth to talk about karma. But the reason that we keep reincarnating is because we're stuck on this wheel of karma. And the wheel of karma is sort of like a momentum that, as you go lifetime through lifetime, you learn, you grow, you choose different missions, you choose different things in your life, and it's all for healing. And this light that we're talking about, because you can think about the light, and then you can think about the darkness, right? And we always think of like a healing journey as if we're moving from the darkness into the light. And so this light that we're talking about is basically the light of the universe. It is the essence of the universe. And in this essence, there is nothing but bliss. There is nothing but love. There is nothing but compassion. There is nothing but like creative flow. And that's what light is. This essence that we are bringing more of to the planet, of this light, is because the planet really needs it at this time. And why does the planet need this light? Well, we can get into like a little bit of a history about what that is, but what is, I would ask you, Danny, what is your definition of this light, and how does it play a part in like being a light worker to you, like in your own personal way?
To me, this light is love. And it was taught to me in a QHHT session when I went back to the essence of me. Light is love. There is no separation between the two. And in the midst of darkness, we needed darkness for the light to expand. So through this teaching, in order for the light to expand, really, we're on course. We were on course once upon a time, or this planet was on course once upon a time. And the evolution of this planet spawned light and from the darkness. And so creation was born. And as mankind evolved throughout its history, so too did the light within expand. Uh, but there also was a duality of light and darkness that coexisted, just like the sun and moon, or this. There is in darkness there is light through the moon, right, and the stars above. So there what grows. I'm trying to kind of get on point and think and talk at the same time. But what really my idea of why light workers are needed on this planet is pretty much comes to a point where darkness started moving and overtaking the light through the actions of the human race. And as Dolores Cannon stated in many of her books, that darkness started to accelerate through the use or creation of the atom bomb, because now we're talking about something that could wipe life out on the planet or wipe the planet out completely. And that is where those of the highest lights were sent to Earth to bring up the vibration or bring up love within the planet once again, so that which was that love that was lost, to accelerate it towards healing in a higher vibration and redirect the planet back to love and back to back away from war, back away from like the darker ages this planet has seen, into a more exuberant and successful vibration of love. Like that's why we're here, is to raise the vibration, to raise that back to unconditional love, because we've gotten all fucking messed up with regards to what love really is. And if that's one of the biggest bombs to drop on the planet, is for love to be obscured to the point where we don't even know what you're talking about anymore. You know?
Right.
And it's just like people in my life have gotten to the point where they don't even know what real love is anymore, or love without uncondition, which is the true essence of love. Because we in our relationships, especially, or not in mine, but like in other relationships across the planet, it just seems like if you don't have something that you can give me and to add to my life, then what is the purpose of having you in my life? That's conditional.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So light workers are pretty much moving the vibration back towards and on point to unconditional love.
I love that you brought up Dolores Cannon. There's so much information, and we'll get to your question, Liz. I saw it. So we'll get to it. But Dolores Cannon has written over 17 books, and she is, I would say, one of the most powerful sources of information about this whole lightworker thing. And I can talk a little bit about that. I've read a few of her books. And there's some of them that talk more in more simple ways about what a light worker is. And then there's other ones that go really deep into these convoluted ideas. And the books are actually it's a series called The Convoluted Universe. And all these ideas and things about, how we live different dimensions and what's really going on. But the main power that she brings, that she has brought to the world, because she has already passed on, is this idea of the 3 waves of volunteers. And she talks about in her books, she actually has a book called The 3 Waves of Volunteers. Dolores Cannon's story goes like this. I'll tell it from the beginning so that whoever's new to it can understand like where it comes from. She, her and her husband was in the military. And this was in the 60s, where they started to do regressions, hypnosis sessions for people who wanted to stop smoking. They had these addictions. They wanted to lose weight. And it was believed that through hypnosis, you could go back to things in your childhood, these traumas, right? These are like psychology theories like you could go back and like heal your trauma from your childhood through these hypnosis sessions. And two amazing things happened. First, the first thing that happened was they were working on this one woman, and there's a specific book that she talks about this. I can't remember the exact name, but this woman she regressed back to a past life. So she went beyond her childhood towards another lifetime that she'd had. And the trauma that she was dealing with in this lifetime was connected to a life that she'd had back, in another lifetime here on Earth. And that just blew their mind, because that wasn't something that had really been discovered yet. It was so new, and they were so curious that they worked with her. And the book is called 5 Lives Remembered. I just remember now. So she trips back to 5 different lifetimes, and they're just like amazed at this information. So Dolores Cannon just dives into this. She wanted to discover. She wanted to know the truth. She wanted to bring light, right, to the planet in regards to this topic. And she knew that it was very, very important that she do this. So she continued to work. And she thought that she knew everything about this past life thing, right? She thought she had it on download. She thought she understood it. And then here's where the second thing happened in her life. The second thing that happened is she had a client who was a young man who came in to see her seeking help. Usually people will do hypnosis sessions or past life regressions because there's something in this lifetime that they're just not able to heal. And it's very likely that it has to do with a past life. So what happened in this session with this young man, and this is in the book called Keepers of the Garden, this young man trips back into a past life on another planet. And that is when her whole world completely changed, because she went from having this understanding of us having past lives on this planet to, wow, now we're talking past lives on different planets. And it's like her whole world got shifted upside down. And then she had like a whole new like curiosity if she wanted to know everything about it. So in these sessions, what started to happen is this voice started to come through, and the voice would be like the voice of God. She calls it the voice of the subconscious, but this is more than just our subconscious mind. This is a voice that has chosen to bring information through her. And she was so, in a way, what's the word I'm looking for? She didn't have a judgment about it. She just wanted to know the information, and she would just write things down. Hey guys. And so they gave her more and more information. And so she started to learn more and more and more and more. And this voice literally basically would come into the sessions and would tell them information about this person's higher self or soul and the key to healing their lives. And this, and so the sessions started to become healing for the people that were coming in. So she opened herself up to a whole new world. And after seeing like hundreds and hundreds of people, she started to notice a theme. The story that she received from the history of the planet is that the planet was seeded a long, long time ago. And there's beings in the universe whose job is to seed planets, to wait until planets are ready for life to grow on them. And so they introduce, the cells, they introduce plants, they create an environment for conscious life to come in. And so this is the process that happened here on Earth. However, and we're talking like before Atlantis, before Lemuria, which are the two most ancient civilizations that we know about. It was Atlantis first, and then Lemuria, and then Egypt. And so going way, way back, the planet began to be seeded. Somewhere along the line, something happened, and that part is not exactly clear, but something happened that changed the course of this planet. And I think what happened is that the darkness was introduced, because it was supposed to be like a heaven, right? When you think of the Genesis story, it was like heaven on earth. the Garden of Eden, and it was just beautiful. And then something happened. And now in the Genesis story, we get the whole, we ate from the fruit and now we have sinned and now we're being punished. And I think that the story is that somewhere along the line, something happened that changed the course of this planet. Darkness was introduced and there was really nothing they could do about it, but just basically watch their creation shift and go into a different direction. And so they just let it be, because planet Earth has something very special in that it is a planet of free will. And so in this planet, we get to choose what we want to do. And that's so important to understand. Every single person on this planet has free will. You can choose healing or you can choose not healing. You can choose to stay stuck. And even if you're a light worker, you have an option, except you're probably more driven to choose that healing path, to choose that shamanic path, but you have a choice not to. And so because of that, they couldn't interfere. There's like this law in the universe that you just can't interfere with life on Earth. So what happened is everything kept, time kept moving on. Fast forward into 1945, World War II, where we dropped an atomic bomb. And that is what stirred, it's like it sent waves throughout the universe, because that is a no-no in the universe. Atomic bombs create something that's this kind of destruction that will just affect, and you can't change it. And so that's when they decided, okay, we need to interfere with this, because this is not, this is not allowed. However, because there is that rule that you can't interfere, they couldn't really do anything about it. They can't just like land on a spaceship and say, okay, the game's over. You know what I mean? The game's over and we're done, because that is just also not allowed, right? It's kind of like, the Star Trek. It's like you can't, like, non-interference. Not Star Trek. I mean, what's
Trek.
The other one? It's not
Star Trek.
Is that Star Trek?
Yeah, it's where you can't interfere with the civilization. Like,
yeah, well, it's probably in a few movies, but that theme of non-interference, that's like real, right? So here's what they came up with, because they were like really alarmed. The atomic bomb was like, whoa, this has gone too far. So what happened is they came up with the plan. They said, well, if we can't help from the outside, maybe we can help from the inside. And their idea was this 3 waves of volunteers. They would send people that would choose to incarnate into a physical body onto planet Earth, basically intact with their soul, their knowledge, their wisdom, their ascension, their light, bright beings who came in with lots of love to heal. And the more of these beings, the more that they would tip the scale and light would come back to the planet. And that's what we mean by the ascension of the Earth. So there was 3 waves. The first wave was right now, they're probably in their 50s, 60s, 70s. They were the first that came. A lot of them felt so foreign on this planet that they committed suicide, but a lot of them survived. And their job was just to be the trailblazers. The second wave are in their 20s, 30s, 40s. And these are the people that have come in with such beautiful light in them that really their job is just to be who they are. And by being who they are and by being in that powerful energy, they are healing the world. That's their work. And then the third wave is the hope of the future. These are the children that come in with basically their DNA already structured. They don't need to go through any dark nights of the soul like a lot of us do. They just come in and they're like ready to hit the ground running. And these are the children that we need to allow to do what they came here to do and not really get in their way. So I wanted to tell that story about, what that history is, so that so where do light workers really come from, right? Anyways, if you want to add something, I'm going to look at some of the comments. I haven't been able to look at them very much. But I thank you guys for being here, and I hope that you're enjoying this conversation so far.
No, and there's a respect of, wanting to know where you come from And really, that's what was beautiful about Dolores's work. Was she, through through inducing hypnosis, she brought that ability to tap into source energy and gain that information, that lost knowledge, if you will, from source energy, from the higher selves that of our own, that have access to that that knowledge. So that was beautiful, and it really chimes in and speaks to my own experience through QHHT of what really I was trying to gain through hypnosis to figure out my journey and where I'm at. And a lot of the questions that I had were answered through my higher self, like, am I a twin flame? Is this person my twin? And bringing me an understanding that kind of cooled my jets with regards to, am I on the right path? Am I being that light through the work that I am doing on this planet already, or is there something that I need to move towards? And really the answers that were given were, you don't have to do anything. You pretty much describing what the second waivers are all about, is like, our lights shine and snowplow a path for the third waivers, and pretty much all we have to do is be, in order to usher in this third wave of children that are here to teach us and the planet what's next, and how to raise our vibrations to a state of where they're at. And pretty much the path of a light worker for me is light work. Like, light work is that path, moving down that path of ascension of our own lights and our own being, to be that for others, right? That reflection, mirror reflection for others, for them to strive to move towards their own ascension.
Right. Because everyone has the capability of ascending. And that's the reason why light workers are here, to be the example that you can shine your light brighter, to be the example that you can actually be the change that you want to see in the world, right? That's like a famous Gandhi quote. Or to literally be like the Christ consciousness embodied. And that's something else we can talk about. The whole like Christ consciousness, Jesus, he was an ascended master that came, and he was like the biggest example that we have in our sort of near past of major like example of a light worker that just came with pure love. And it was like so strange for people, because they couldn't understand it. So let's make a distinction here between a light worker who's in these three waves of volunteers, so we can get down into, how do you know you're a light worker? So let's make the distinction between a light worker and a person who is still stuck in the karma wheel. So a light worker, there's a few possibilities, right? You can be someone that had a life somewhere else in the universe, maybe on another planet. Most likely you were some kind of ascended master, or someone who had knowledge and love for the universe, right? A person that was connected to that pure light, that pure love. And you came because it's like you volunteered. It's not like a paid job. You volunteered because of the love in your heart was so strong that you knew this was the right thing to do, right? You could have been someone like that. You could have been literally an ascended master that has had many lifetimes on other planets. Maybe they've helped in the ascension of other planets. There's lots of ascended masters in our history that have shown up over and over throughout our history. For example, Green Tara. Green Tara is the Buddhist image. She is the mother of all the Buddhas in Buddhism, in the Buddhist tradition. And she is like the emanation of love. She teaches you how to bring heaven to earth, how to manifest heaven on earth. And she is a being, an ascended master from a planet called Karnak. She had many, many lifetimes on Karnak. became ascended or ascended on that planet, and then chose to keep coming back to that planet to help the other people ascend, right? And then when she was done with that, when that planet officially ascended, she was basically chosen or asked, and she came to Earth. And she's been on Earth in a few different incarnations, a few different places. One of them is as Green Tara. The other one is as the Star Woman in the Cheyenne. The Cheyenne have a being that they look up to. It's called Star Woman. And that is Green Tara. That's another incarnation of Green Tara. And so you could have been somebody who simply volunteered. Everybody volunteered, but you could have been someone who was actually an ascended master that came to Earth, or the third one, which is the one that is the most fascinating to me. You could have literally come straight from source energy, have never had been in a body before, ever. You were just source energy, and you came directly to Earth. And the more likelihood is that if you are one of those beings that came directly from the light, and this is your literal first lifetime ever, especially on Earth, you are probably one of the most sensitive people. And it's probably been a real struggle for you to be on the planet, on Earth, because it is so dense here, and you came directly from the light. And to come into this dense world is like, whoa, it's intense.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
So how do you know if you're a light worker? How did you find out, Danny, that you were a light worker?
It was that sense of not fitting in to me, that there was this inner feeling of there's a greater purpose for my life than truck driving or, sucking shit or being a laborer. I went searching after 2 near-death experiences that happened within 6 months of each other, because it was kind of like creator saying, dude, wake up. And after the second one, I was like, okay, man, you got my attention. What do you want me to do? He said, search out who you truly are. So that right there, it was just an inner knowing that that's what was being said to me. And I was like, I need to start figuring this shit out. And along the path, it was like people were brought to me, like the Chinaman that I have no idea what his name is, at a party in Toronto one night. And when I'm not even a big fan of cities, let alone what am I doing at a party in Toronto? And he was like, I told him what had happened to me, and he was like, you are on quite the journey, my friend, and but you are on the right path to this knowing that you're searching out, and just keep continuing doing what you're doing. You're doing great. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? But it's just like randoms out of nowhere would come to me and tell me these prophetic things, like you're on a shaman journey. And I'm like, I don't even know what a fucking shaman is, but okay, whatever. And it never really rang into me until like 3 or 4 times later, like I'm on this healing journey, not only for myself, but I'm also a teacher, and a healer. And there was this idea that was planted into my head. I won't even go there with the twin flame shit tonight, but that there was more to my life, and that I was this great healer. And it came through a Reiki session. I was like, this chick was like, yeah, I'm an energy healer, and I can kind of balance yourself out. Like, that's the service I provide. I was like, man, I need any kind of service that can happen for whatever reason right now, because I'm all messed up and I'm just struggling to breathe, right? Like I know there's this bigger purpose, but it's just really, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So she balanced my energy, And really, she's like, dude, you're going to go back to school for sociology. I was like, that ain't never happening. I am not going back to school. And she was like, you are a healer, and you have a great voice, and you're going to heal and direct others towards light working and stuff. And at the time, I didn't even know what light working was, but apparently I was on that path. And it just, throughout my life, these teachers came forward to kind of crack that code within me, and show me the way from there. And I learned to become super sensitive to synchronicities on my own. A lot of the teachings were downloaded to me through walks in nature, and I struck up a conversation with what I didn't know was my higher self. I didn't know at the time was my higher self. And there became the or I began on a journey with infinite knowledge being downloaded to me, and wisdom through working through my life, through the struggles, through the hardships, through the traumatic experiences, to a point where aha, the light within that others see, other light workers see within me, that picked me out of the crowd like you did when we first met. That's the light that is unmistakable in light workers. So when Dewey came onto the scene, like almost a month ago, when Dewey came onto the scene, man, did you not see his light?
I did.
Yeah. And we picked him out of the crowd, like it was like, and brushed him off and say, hey, brother, welcome. It's been a while.
Cynthia. Yeah. So you're right. And what that is all about is finding each other.
Yeah.
And I will talk about in a moment. But first I want to tell my story of how I figured out I was a light worker. But I want to talk about, don't let me forget the caterpillar story.
Caterpillar, okay.
Yeah, the caterpillar. So I grew up, and this is going to sound crazy, but I mean, it's not crazy. I don't even know why I'm using that word, because it's not crazy anymore. None of it is crazy anymore, right?
Absolutely.
And I hope that a lot of you guys have a connection to this, where you feel like maybe you've experienced this too. My entire life. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, and I want to say, if you think you're crazy, you're probably a light worker.
So I grew up wanting to save the world. I just had this intense need. Everything in my life had to be about saving the world. And it was like, where the fuck does that come from? Right? What are you talking about, saving the world? I look back at essays that I wrote in high school, in college, and all of them. And this is why I went into like sociology. It's like the study of society, of people, because it was like, I wanted to know, like my curiosity, like I wanted to understand people. And that was like the one, aspect of, the university world that really called to me. None of the other ones did. Not psychology, none of them. Just like the study of society, the study of people in the world.
Oh God, maybe I am going back to sociology.
And it did help me a lot. It taught me about how people behave, when they're together, and what I noticed is that like this drive to want to learn, to want to know more about people was coming from a very intense desire to want to save the world. So every paper, every essay that I wrote always ended with, and this is going to help save the world. Like that was my conclusion every time. Like this is going to help make the world a better place. And you hear that, and that's actually a key ingredient. If you have had this intense desire to want to save the world, to make the world a better place, you're probably a light worker. I grew up feeling completely like alien to my family. I was so sensitive that I would cry at every little thing. I would watch the news and I would cry. I would watch movies and they would like throw me upside down. Everything affected me so intensely. I was so receptive. It was too much. It was too much. The density of this planet, the sort of trashing of emotions, because anger, fear, like the deep, like negative emotions, jealousy, envy, the emotions they're not of the light, right? They're a little more of the darkness. Those emotions, it's like I never understood them. I never understood suffering. And this is why I cried so many times. Like my whole life, I can imagine crying, like always crying. It's like, what the hell is that about, right? My dad told me later on in life, a couple of years ago, he's like, I thought you were the weakest one. Like, I really thought you weren't going to make it. I was afraid. I was like concerned. I was worried about whether you were going to make it in the world. My dad literally said this to me. And then he said, but now that I see you as an adult, he's like, you were actually the strongest one. Being the most sensitive one, being the one so receptive, you were so in it. It's like you completely felt everything. And that has made you stronger. And that has made all the difference. And now he sees me as the strongest one of his children, because I have this perspective of the world that is beyond what you can expect a child to have. And I've always had that. I've always had that bigger perspective. It's not just about me. It's about everything and everyone. This is about everyone. This is about the whole planet. And the other thing is, I felt like I was not of my family. I did not align with my mom. I did not align with my dad, my sister, nor my brother. I felt like I was a different species. And I felt like I was from another planet. I literally felt like I was not from here. And there was so many times where I was home when I didn't feel like I was home. And I had this yearning to find a place where I would feel like I was at home. And I never found it. And when I finally found it, and I've gone through my, healing is constant. It's always moving, always flowing. But my healing life, my healing path up until now has led me to realize that home is where my heart is. And my heart is my connection to my soul. And my soul knows where it came from. My soul is light. And this is why I have found home within my own inner light. And that is the place that you need to get to as a light worker, so that you can sort of take back your power, realize who you truly are, and then you're on the road to figuring out what is your mission, what is your purpose on the planet.
Oh, yeah. And what spoke to me too was that sensitivity. I used to cry like crazy, and like, sure, big girls don't cry, but what about men? What about boys? Boys are shunned, and it was terrible going through that conditioning, the primary conditioning of my parents and my teachers and the institutional condition. I won't even talk about, because I was like a class clown. I rebelled against that stuff. Just because it was light dimming, and all the kids around me, you could feel their lights I could feel their lights just shrinking and shriveling. So trying to keep humor out of the classroom, really what they did was they put me out in the hall. You know what I mean? They just removed me completely as they continued doing that. And it was just so heart-wrenching to me that that the spirit was being crushed in these kids, that like, as a child myself, I couldn't take it. I felt outside of myself even at times. And I was a quiet kid. Like I did a lot of observing, you know, and man, when you said not feeling like that sense of home anywhere and that search for home, that really gets me, because I've only felt home once, and never again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that sense of home does come back when you reconnect with your tribe, and you find those lights that are brightening alongside you, in parallel with you, and you invite them back. That's my sense of home, is the tribe coming forward. So you wanted to talk about the caterpillars.
Yeah, I'm going to get to some of the questions too right now, because they kind of all fit in right now. We've kind of laid the foundation, and now we can go deeper into the topic. The first question that I remember, I can't remember who asked it, but somebody asked, so are all light workers healers, or is being a healer one part of, like, one type of light worker? And that's a great question. And this is what I have to say about it. Every light worker is a healer. What we think of as a healer in this world, that's a very narrow idea of what a healer is. You can be a light worker who does not perform acts of healing in the way that we know them as body work, Reiki, energy work, all those things that we think of as healing, hypnosis. And you could just be literally living your life. And you could literally live your life as the happiest person on earth. And on that lifetime, you healed many people because you let your light shine through. And that is what is truly the job of a light worker. You can choose to go into healing modalities in the way that we know them. But the truth is that all light workers are healers, because the healing that we provide is letting our light shine as bright as we can. That's how we are healers. It's not about what you do in this lifetime. What's your job? What's your profession? What's your business? It's none of it. That's not it. It's about you and shining your light. So if shining your light, if what lights you up, if what activates your passion is, for example, something like gardening, then garden the fuck out of the garden. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's funny. But that is your work. You become a healer when you step into your light. So you got to search deep within to what is it that lights you up? What brings you the most happiness in this world? Because the world is energetic. You expand your energy when you step into your purpose as a light worker, when you feel your light and you do what you love. That happiness makes your aura stronger, and that energy reaches out further. That's the point. You want to reach your light out further. Why do you think we have technologies like this? Where I'm here in Colorado, Danny's in Canada. You guys are all over the freaking planet. How far do you think we're reaching? Like, why do you think this technology is really here?
I didn't even have to leave my basement today.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So amazing question. We are all healers. Next question was Allison's questions. What are some steps that you took to get there, to that place of home?
Just to add to the healer.
Yeah, please.
I remember when I was a teenager and everyone was getting drunk. Here I was, the sobered kid that was tending to the girls crying because what's his name was cheating on him or whatever. And I really, it broke my heart to see people in such, duress, even though they were working, and it was exemplified, kind of amplified by the drug. But here I was trying to heal those that were hurting, and I didn't even know, like why I was doing it, or it was a second nature to my essence of me, and living that out was being that light and healing these wounded, or bringing them to an understanding that, it's okay, child, it's okay. These are lessons that we learn. So yeah. And yeah, that's it for that. I got another place to put that other question, but
okay.
so
Yeah, we can both kind of jump at it, these few questions before we continue on. But
sure.
Allison said, what, when I was talking about coming home to my soul, she asked, what are some of the steps you took to get there? So we can kind of share our own personal healing story, because those are the steps.
Yeah.
There comes a point in your life. There came a point in my life where I could no longer allow myself to live in negative energy. I could no longer choose the path that had been chosen for me. I could no longer bow down to the negative thought patterns and the things that I learned, and society that told me that I was supposed to be this thing, when that is not what lit me up. There was a point where I made a decision, like, I am different and I'm not like this. I don't love those things. I don't feel comfortable in those things. I feel comfortable doing this, right? Being myself, and being myself goes against everything that I've been taught. And there was a point where I had to choose to leave all that behind. And it's been years, little by little by little, one realization after another, after another, after another, leading me through these experiences in my life where it feels like everything falls apart. And I have to pick myself back up. And I have to relearn how to be in the world as myself. And this is an unknown path. I've had to make it my own. I've had to learn how to do this without any guidance. Right? And a lot of us have. But the desire to be more than I was, the desire, the reality, the belief, the knowing, the inner knowing that there is so much more to this world than what we can see and hear, was so strong. I just had to figure it out. I had to find it. And that drive, that desire is what kept me going into one situation after another, where everything was learning lessons. Stuff went down in my life and I went down with it. And then I had to pick myself back up, over and over and over again. And in the last few years has been the biggest leap forward that I've taken in my healing path, where I'm finally so much more in my power. I'm so comfortable with who I am that no one can bring me down. No one. There's not a single thought, a single opinion, a single, nothing that anybody can say that will bring me down. And even if I have a moment where I kind of take things personally for a moment, I have the ability to say, that's not my truth, and let it go, and continue to be who I am in my center. And that is how I've gotten to where I am. It's lots of experiences that have taught me, lots of things that I surrendered to the learning. I wanted to know, and I surrendered to God. I said, just take me. Because if this is all there is, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be on this planet anymore. Not one more second. If this is all there is.
Been there.
Yeah. So once that moment is the key. That's the moment. That's the tower moment, right? Everything shatters. Because that world that you think is the world, that's not really the world, has to shatter. It has to break. You have to step out of those cycles. And that has been my journey. And I can go into specific examples, but I don't think I need to, just in essence to show you, like, you got to surrender. The way you get there is you let go. But it's deep. It's very deep. It's not on the surface. It's not a thought. It's not like, okay, I think I'm going to let go now. No. It's a fucking letting go with your entire body, mind, spirit, everything. You literally say, I'm willing to die. I'm willing to be done. You know what I mean? To find the truth. That's the quest. You're on the quest to find the truth, because it's not until you find your truth that you can move forward into your mission, into the work, into the light work. But anyways, that's kind of my spiel about that. What has been your experience, Danny, of, what are the steps that you've taken to get here?
I think I've gone through so many darkest hours. And in my darkest hour, that's where I was elevated to a newer understanding, or a newer, the door was open to a higher knowing of purpose, and it's almost as though that light workers power comes from the depths of darkness. We've all gone through so much hardship in our lives, drugged through the depths of trauma, that in order, they say, like, even in the ideals of the law of attraction, is like, you can't truly receive abundance until you have been to the depths of lack. So in order to reach the higher states of light, you can't truly reach the higher state of light unless you've been in the darkness and dragged through that and through those experiences. Now, those experiences could come throughout lifetimes, but I know in this lifetime, man, the darkness was thick. And just having 2 near-death experiences brought me to a point of, like, it was almost like, God, why have you forsaken me? And God responded saying, I haven't forsaken you. I have lifted you up. And me, at that point, it was like, that's kind of like the teaching of, like, the picture of the 2 footpaths on the beach, and then there was 1 footpath, and the person was talking to God, saying, like, why in that hour when I needed you the most, why did you leave me? And God said, I didn't leave you. I picked you up and carried you through that in order to show you I was there. Is really where I learned most of my lessons from. And I came to the conclusion that, and this was like only a couple of years ago, that, I'm on the verge of total collapse in my life. And I don't know where I'm going. I have no idea where this path is leading me, but I know one thing for certain, and that I am willing to let go of it all to be a worker for you, to be whatever you need me to be in this life. I just totally, I give everything up. I give everything up to you for this purpose that I have no fucking idea, but I'm willing to take that leap. And that's where he picked me up, brushed me off, and moved me further down this path of enlightenment, and really taught me some amazing things that allowed me to manifest some unbelievable things in my life. And he was always there to show me too, or like I say, this energy, this source energy, for those that don't believe in a creator or whatever, there was this energy that showed me back onto my path always towards enlightenment. That was so cool and undeniably, like unmistakingly, a sense of a path back home, you know, or that home feeling of this is true, this is truth, this is love, true love. So that was my guidance back to or back, or what always kept me on this path towards light working, because and it was always this light within that this knowing that, you know, I am here to heal and I am here to help. And even throughout all the instances in my life where I thought I was helping, it always redirect me to, you know, sometimes saying, well, no, helping sometimes isn't a doing thing. It's just a listening ear or a holding of space for another. It's not necessarily something you do. You know, it's just a being, a state of being.
Sat Nam.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Dewey asked a question that I thought was actually, I loved the question because I actually wrote a whole song about it. He said, you know, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, you know, do you ever look up at the stars and find a certain constellation that attracts you the most, or a certain star that kind of calls your attention? And when looking up at the stars, right, I think light workers are definitely stargazers. I think that there's moments where you look up, like I had this very powerful moment, oh my God, in Hawaii. Okay. If you ever want to look at the stars, go to fucking Hawaii. Like, holy moly. Kauai, more than anything. Kauai, the island of Kauai. Because we went to this beach that was called Barking Sands Beach. And we went during sort of afternoon, and then it became evening and it got dark. And on the way back, I kid you not, we literally had to stop the car or come to Australia. Yeah. We literally had to stop the car and get out because we were like stunned by the night sky. It's literally like even better than the picture behind us of the Milky Way. But we got out of the car and we looked up and we were like in awe. Like every cell of my being was vibrating with this knowing that there is so much more out there. There's so much more out there. And it's like, and I know it. And I'm so glad that I know it. And looking up at the Milky Way, you could see the entire thing, billions and billions of stars. And it was just incredible. I've never seen the night sky like that ever in my whole life. And if I go to Hawaii, like that will be the first thing that I go do again. Like famous photographers travel to Kauai and that specific beach to take pictures of the Milky Way. So looking up at the stars ever since I was little has been a huge thing for me. It like, I feel like they're calling me. And I wrote a song called Meet Me in the Stars. I don't know if you've heard it, but yeah, good question.
Yeah. That really got me to my feeling mode. Like it brings up a lot of my history that I just, you know, I thought that I buried, but it really brought me to this place. And I need to honor that too. You know, all those experiences, good or bad, I don't think you can put it into a box really and label them good or bad, because they're all what makes us. They all made us and brought us to this point. And we needed them to bring us here, right? So yeah, I totally honor those experiences right now on this program.
And it's really about that honoring, that respect, that inner knowing, that trust, that
Absolutely.
just it's everything.
Yeah.
It changes the way you live. It changes everything.
There's I'll talk about this later, but there's a 12-step ascension plan that I read today. I was like, damn, wish I had.
Rebecca, maybe I'll play it. Maybe I'll play the song at the end.
That'd be cool. I
Yeah.
almost said that too, right?
Yeah. I
As a
can
little
totally do that. Like that would be lovely. But all of my songs, so my music is a huge part of my light work.
Mhm.
And that's actually a great example because it's a very personal process. It happens like songs come to me when I am having difficult times in my life. That's when the songs come to me, and it's the message, it's the lesson that is held in that moment of like pure surrender and letting go that truly I become a channel for grace, and the words just like whoosh, they come out, and then the music that goes to the song, and then it's just like it's not mine, that like it's mine because of like my experience led me to these songs being created, but it's not really mine. It's the universe speaking through me in these words, and there's such an impact. And if you're a light worker and you listen to my songs, you will feel it like deep in your heart. That's how you'll know. Like, whoa. I've gotten that response. It's like, it's interesting because I have, I used to go live on Periscope a lot, and I don't do that as much. Everything has been transitioned over to YouTube. And that's part of why I teach spiritual evolution, why that's the theme of this channel, is because spiritually evolving is what I want to teach. It's what I want to be an example of. And if you allow yourself to spiritually evolve, people will see that example and they'll allow themselves to spiritually evolve and change. And I wanted to sort of, when I was little, when I was really little, he'll tell you another story. I wanted to be a famous singer. Like I loved to sing. I loved like singing was like something that came so natural to me. And it was like, everybody was like, oh, you have a pretty voice or you have a beautiful voice. And so my mom sent me to singing lessons, and I knew that it had a big part of my life and my future, but obviously it got shoved to the back because I had to like go to college and graduate and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? All that bullshit. I'm just kidding. I don't regret it. I don't regret it. They were all experiences that I needed to have, but I never really wanted to do it. I never really felt called to like go get a degree, And there was a time in my life where like I thought I wanted to be a university professor, but that's funny because I did want to be a teacher. I did want to be a professor, but not in a university. I wanted to be a teacher of this. And I just didn't know it yet. And so I thought I was going in this direction of like, I want to teach people like how to be this, how to activate their inner light, how to heal themselves, but that was not the setting. So the universe took me in another direction, and I lost a lot of relationships. Specifically, the one specific one is with my mother, because she wanted me to do this so bad that she was so disappointed in me when I decided I was done with school and I started teaching yoga. I mean, from here to here, and yoga was sort of the gateway for me. It was the stargate into the spiritual. Yeah. And yoga was the first thing that initiated me towards spirituality, and that I started to learn about, the chanting and the mantras and the meditation and like, what is all this spirit stuff about? And it was the start of going way deep, not of learning, but of remembering. You gotta realize that you're not learning, you are remembering who you are.
Oh.
Those moments that you have that give you the chills, that's you remembering.
Deja vu.
All of those crazy feelings. And so I wanted to become this famous singer, but that got put on the back burner, right? And then something happened when I did Kundalini yoga teacher training. And it was another powerful, phase growth in my life. And Kundalini teacher training is so into chanting mantras in a very powerful way. Connect them, with meditations, with movements, with breath work, and you chant your heart out and you connect to your heart. You drop from your head to your heart. And then it just naturally came out of me. The mantras, I started to put mantras to music, because the mantra is the same, right? It's like, here's the healing mantra, but then there's a million different ways to sing it, because there's a million different ways that people have been inspired to sing it. And so the chords, putting the chords to it and getting it all together is very individual and unique. And then that's what started happening. I started to put mantras to music. And then the more I did that, the more I connected to my heart, the more that gift that was mine from the beginning, that I knew that I had to put it out, became a thing of its own. And then I started writing actual lyrics, like actual songs, which was something that I was like, I don't know how to do that. How do you write a song? But I wanted to write songs so bad all of a sudden. And like, all my songs that have come out are all about spirituality, about diving deeper, about healing, about forgiveness. Like, I don't write songs that don't have this like very in-depth meaning that will like move you, and that's one of my gifts. That's one of my light worker gifts, because when I'm singing and when I'm playing my music and when I'm chanting, I like the light, just like it emanates, it just expands, and it's so natural for me. And that's just like one example of like what can be your type of light work, is those things that like they're so natural for you to do, and yet they're so huge.
Yeah, I think even expressing your creativity is something that a light worker has to do.
Yep.
They have to do it. It's almost like an exercise, whether it's painting or whatever have you. You need to use art as a mechanism of empowerment and healing, because it's something within you that you need to work. It's like a muscle that you need to work.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So I know you do want to talk about the caterpillar thing.
Yeah, it keeps coming back. I just saw another question from Miss Joe. What are your favorite moments of being a light worker so far? Would you like to answer that, Danny?
Yeah, I actually, I wrote it down. I wrote down the thing that I like is the thing that I like the most being a light worker. And this has been even throughout the times that I wasn't a light worker. And I seen it happen to people that I really cared and loved. Love. Present tense. Is seeing people, and I'm going to kind of expand on this in a minute, but seeing people put my words into action, seeing the change that you speak about take place in another person's life as they take on that, belief or knowing into their own lives and manifest it into the physical. Really, oh man, that shit lights me up. That lights my spirit up. And the way I've come to know on how to spread these nuggets of inspiration, or these nuggets of knowledge, is to not say, well, I think you need to do this, or I think you need to do that to get to this place that you seek. Really, it's through living my life and putting my own words into action, and then letting people see these things is how it's transferred from me to them. Or when it's in a setting where there's not enough time to show them the practice that they need to see, to take into their own lives. Really, I speak about that instance in my life when I was at a point of struggle or a point of unknowing, and having the knowing come into me, and me learning what I needed to learn in order to get through what I'm going through. It's not that I never speak directly at someone. I speak through experience, through what I've gone through, and watching people change their own lives after I've planted that seed of inspiration in them is really my favorite moment that I continue to live. And it really, oh my God, man.
Makes me want to clap.
Yeah.
But yes. It's like, because you know what happens? It's like heaven on earth.
Yeah, man.
And that's what we came to do. We came to manifest heaven on earth. Because we're meant for so much more.
Yeah.
We're not meant to suffer. We've created suffering in the world, and we're not meant for that.
Yeah. I don't like that vibration.
No.
And I don't like seeing people going through that. And most of the time, that suffering, there's something in your life that's trying to tell you, dude, wake up. I'm here to teach you something. I'm here to raise your vibration. And that really gets into like, what is the path, and the work that needs to be done on your path is those things that trigger you, those things that just set you fucking off. Those things are the things that you need to heal, and you need to learn from and grow from and move towards the light in every aspect, because they're your guides.
Yes. Allison says a lot of suffering is created by the mind too, and we're not meant to be controlled by the mind. The mind and the ego create fear. And I'm going to get into a question that was just presented, or a comment that was just presented. But the mind and the ego create fear, and fear creates that darkness, that energy of non-movement. It's like going backwards instead of moving forward. And that's not what light work is. Light work is moving forward in the direction of healing. So somebody asked, what are your favorite moments of being a light worker? And we answered that, right? And then the other one that Dewey said is photography and art. And I just wrote that down because hell yeah, it is. art, like it's anything that lights you up.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Videography is my passion. I've been into videography since I was a child. I had 2 VHSs hooked up together and a camcorder that was the size of like a box of beer. And, I made videos, and it really lit me up, and I shared them with people. And that sharing was something that kind of brought that light out from me and lit other people up as well. So absolutely.
Okay. I'm writing down your question. Starseed, do you feel a connection with the planet? Because I want to get to that in a minute, but I want to address Terry's.
Sure.
This is the one thing where I'm like, oh, okay. It's the one thing. It's like it's like the one thing that I'm still working on releasing this intense sort of reaction that I have inside of me, because I'm so passionate about light work, and I'm so passionate about bringing heaven on earth, and I'm so passionate about healing. When people don't understand it and they judge, that's really hard. That's been my whole life, right? When people don't understand it. Yeah.
Give her. What is it? Get it out.
When people don't understand it, and when people judge it, and when people are closed off, that hurts my heart.
Yeah.
And I'm learning how to not even engage with the energy at all. That's part of one of the bigger lessons, right? Terry said that she had a conversation with her sister. And in that conversation, her sister said that Reiki and light work are not God's way. I kid you not. I had someone put a comment on one of my videos, on one of my tarot videos, and I'm sharing this now because it's out there, you guys. And this is the one thing that you have to understand. We're still in the early phases of this big change that's happening. We're the pioneers of it, okay? The 3 waves of volunteers are here, but it's not like everything's going to go according to plan, because we have to create the change, right? And that's where our strength comes in. We have to be strong enough to move through all of the darkness, all of the judgment, all of the fear that all other people have that throw on us because they're afraid to change, because they're afraid to find the truth, because they're afraid to heal. Healing is never darkness. Healing is never a part of us being sinful people. Healing is never this fear. Healing it's a scary to step into that path of healing, but it's not something that you need to fear. We're not meant to fear God.
Yeah.
Okay? God is us. We are that light source energy.
Oh.
We are that love. We are bringing Christ consciousness into the planet. But there's these old stories that continue to play themselves out on the planet that say there's evil and there's good and there's right and there's wrong and there's sinful, and then there's like being a good person, right? Being a bad person, being a good person. It's like following, the rules of the game versus not following the rules of the game. And if you don't follow the rules of the game, then you lose and you're out and you're going to be judged and you're going to be, sent to hell. Okay? I literally had someone put a comment that I deleted because I don't engage with those things and I don't like that kind of energy. And I've learned you learn to let go of any attachment to whatever anybody thinks about you and what you do in your life. Okay. But someone put a comment that said, something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing, you better, I can't believe what you're doing. You better repent before it's too late, right? I kid you not. That was the comment that was on one of my videos, and I deleted it. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because those things come from fear.
Yeah.
Fear of the unknown. Those thought patterns, those belief systems are belief systems meant to control the masses. Okay? When you get to Reiki and light work are not God's way. I'm sorry, but have you felt, you know what I mean? Have you felt it? Have you connected to your heart? Or is this just a thought pattern that you've just been taught that you just repeat because that's just what you've been taught, right? Where's the bullshit here? Where's the difference? What's the difference between someone who's in a religious position? Let's take Mother Teresa, for example. What's the difference between someone who's in a religious position within the church that is heart-centered, and then someone who's in the same place who's not heart-centered, versus someone who's doing light work who's heart-centered, or not doing light work who's not heart-centered, right? The difference is, are you in your heart or are you not in your heart? It doesn't matter what you're doing. You can be a light worker who's a priest. You can be a light worker who's, what other example, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. It's, are you in your heart? Do you want to heal? Do you want to bring more light to the world? It's not about whether we're doing it right or wrong. It's about, are you in your heart? Mother Teresa, awesome example of a light worker, major light worker. I mean, I'm just throwing things out there, but like those kind of comments, they just come out of fear. It's it's it's
ignorance to a
yeah,
knowing that is there for anyone to tap into, but it's through programming, right? That they come out of this,
right.
they stay in this state of fear. And really, what creator would want us to do is transcend fear. And that's really what light workers are doing, is they're transcending their fears and moving to uh, uh, and raising their vibration by doing so. And what your triggers are mechanisms of helping to clear your fears, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and to steady you on your path. So that was a great, it was a good thing to bring up, because it's so true that, you know, as long as you're heart centered and you're moving in a you're moving in the direction of you know, spreading unconditional love, then you're on the right path. You know, regardless of what religion or what teachings you follow or believe in. You know, you can be Roman Catholic, or even attest to being under that and umbrella, but still you come from a heart center and you move through unconditional love, and everything that you do centers around unconditional love and helping. And you can be a light worker as well, you know, but
Yeah.
you don't have to ascribe to anything to be a light worker.
Because we are creating the ascension of the planet as we are here.
Yeah.
There's no plan that's already set in stone, because this is a free will universe. So what do you want to create? What world do you want to live in? Live in it right now.
Yeah.
Well, by example, be the change that you want to see in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And fear does separate. Ignorance separates, you know? So we all grow up with a set of belief systems that we're taught. A great book to read is called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. We grow up with stories. We grow up with sort of like the rules of the game are handed down to us, and we take them as if they're our own because we don't know any better. We trust our parents. We trust the people that taught us, right, as we grew up. And then you have to remember that they did the best that they thought that they were doing.
Yeah.
They thought they were doing their best. So this is not about judgment. This is about understanding. This is about knowing. This is about inner wisdom that comes through as you grow spiritually, as you evolve spiritually. You come to see the world in a different way, and that is what takes you towards compassion, what the Buddha thought, you know, what the Buddha.
Yeah, it's about forgiveness and truth.
Yes.
And trust and surrender. And
Yeah. So this exists, and you need to like come to terms with it. Like you need to just be okay with the fact that that exists in the world. And you're not here to convince people that light work exists. You're not here to convince people that what you're doing is right. You're just here to do what you came here to do. And you have to trust that the people that are meant to be around you, your soul tribe, will come to you. We're not here to force anybody to do anything, because just like there was a certain point in my life where somebody could have told me something about light work, something about, you know, ascension, and I would have been like, what the hell are you talking about? Because I wasn't ready to hear it. But when I was ready to hear it, you bet I freaking dove right in.
Yeah.
You know, you got to let people be ready. You got to let them be ready.
I think the point that I was ready was when North American native teaching came to me, because it wasn't like religion, and it's based on the individual and their spiritual path and their spiritual journey, and exalting it and helping people move towards you know, actualizing the true essence of them. And all the teaching was pretty much reconnecting with source, reconnecting with that spirit within and allowing it to guide you. And a lot of ceremony has to do with that. A lot of like the medicine wheel, Dewey brought it up, is just it's a teaching to bring you back to the knowledge of and guide you along your path of ascension towards light work, instead of being all scattered and trying to find your way. It enables you. It doesn't separate you like most religions did. And that's why I was drawn to that. But
exactly.
Yeah.
JR asked, is there a kind of healing where you walk with people in darkness, like holding space? So that's called empathy. And there's a difference between empathy and sympathy. When you have sympathy for people, you take on their pain. You take on their suffering. And you tend to do things that affect you in a very negative way. When you have empathy for people, you understand their suffering, but you don't let that affect you. You don't walk with them in suffering.
No.
You hold space for them to heal, but that is not your suffering. And you know that, and you let them go on their own path and on their own way until they are ready.
Yeah, because that suffering is their teaching, and their empowerment at the same time. If they're not able to conquer it on their own, then what was the point of going through it? And they're only destined to repeat it again until they accept it as a teaching and move through with the knowledge, move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nicole says, programming has you think spirit and source is above us, unattainable, whereas light workers know they are working with source and are one with spirit. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
and that's exactly right. It's the difference between God being someone or something up there that you can't reach. You're less than. You literally spend your whole life trying to get there. It's not attainable because you're on a completely different level.
Mm-hmm.
It's suffering. It's like inviting it, like making the essence of life suffering. It's like being the martyr.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense from a light worker's point of view, because we weren't, like I said, we weren't meant to suffer through life. We were meant to discover our truth and then bring the light and do what makes us happy.
And that's why Christ went to the cross. He bore that suffering for us. We don't have to deal with it. And Christ's consciousness is really what he was trying to say too. Like if we're getting into Christianity, even what the message that was obscured by religion is that Christ was here to teach, to bring everyone back to unconditional love. There is just that so much hatred for your brother and war and all this shit that like Christ was like, dude, what the fuck, man? Where did you guys, leave the path? Like, what's the deal here? Like, do I got to come down from source to fucking direct you guys back? Like, really? And he was doing his own thing. He was on the earth, living his own life and shit too. And him coming into purpose was like source saying, dude, man, you got to wake these motherfuckers up because they got fucking irate and bring them back. And his greatest sacrifice was to save us from that. What did I say? That ultimate suffering.
Well, to show us that life is not about suffering.
No, it isn't.
Because he didn't suffer. Dude, he came like, okay, I'm going to recommend another book for you guys. Okay. It's called Anna, Grandmother of Jesus. And it's actually written by an author. I think she's from Spain. So it's Ana, la abuela de Jesús. It's actually in Spanish. On Audible, it's in Spanish. Okay, it's really long, but it's like the story of Anna, grandmother of Jesus, and the whole shebang bang from the beginning, 600 years before he was born till he was born and died.
Nice.
The whole story. Okay, so I'm going to recommend that book to you guys if you want to learn about the real story.
Jai's going to put it in the comments.
So he didn't suffer, man. He was an ascended master before he came.
Nice.
What I mean by the fact that he didn't suffer is like he came to the world and he was like, right? It's like one of those children where you look at him, you're like, where did they come from? They're from another planet.
Oh yeah.
Right? He was like that. He was one of these like third wavers, you know, these kids, yeah, that come in like ready to hit the ground running. It's like I don't need to learn. Like his process of learning was quick. And he spent from very, very young age till, you know, right before, you know, the crucifixion, like literally learning how to master all of these things that like he learned in India. He went all over, you know, the world as, you know, he was able to over there, you know, in that hemisphere or whatever. But he learned in India, he learned how to basically bring the cities, the divine gifts that they talk about in the gene keys.
Yeah.
He was all of those divine gifts activated.
Absolutely.
So when he was going through the process of the cross, he actually was out of body. His body was going through the motions, but he was like watching from above.
True that. Ascending.
He didn't actually suffer through that physically.
Makes sense.
But he did that because that's why he came. He came to teach one of the biggest lessons, which is you are God.
Yeah.
Like you have this in you. Everyone can be this, can be love. And he needed to plant the seed. He planted the seed that was going to literally get hidden for over 2,000 years. And you know what? It's coming back now.
Shit's this is coming back.
Right now is when things are that knowledge is coming back. And you know how it's coming back? It's coming back through channeled messages. People that write books, they don't know what the hell. All they know is they got to write whatever the hell words are coming out of them. They got to write them down. They don't know, like, they're like, oh my God, I just need to write this down. A moment of inspiration where you just put it all down and it comes from where it comes from source.
Dude, I just got something.
Say it.
Is this the second coming?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Bam. So the Dalai Lama has said this very important thing. And it's in many, many different traditions. Okay. The second coming, right? It's not about a single person. The second coming is about the group. Yeah. It's about the collective. It's basically the Lightworkers. It's you. It's me. It's connection to your heart. It is awakening Christ consciousness inside yourself. It is knowing that you have that knowledge of Jesus Christ coming to the planet inside of you, that memory. He planted the seed so that one day it would freaking sprout. And it is sprouting right now. And we're all in this collective process. The teacher, there's no more Dalai Lama. This is the last Dalai Lama. Because the next Dalai Lama, the next teacher is the group. It's the collective. There's not going to be another Dalai Lama. And he had another specific thing that said, the Western woman is going to help bring this change about. And now the sacred divine feminine is activating in a way like never before. Women are stepping into their power. And that's why this is about the sacred divine feminine, the balance. We've been in the masculine, and now the masculine is going to hold space for the sacred divine feminine to freaking rise.
And I can honestly say the sacred divine feminine in a masculine body is a little weird, but it is me. It is me, you know, and the rise that I've gone through is just like, I am here to empower. I am here to lift people up out of their misery. I am here to be unconditional love as Christ was. You know what I mean? And move that message forward. I love that.
Oh my God. Yeah. Mind blown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. There was one more thing that was coming through. Let's see if I can remember. People ask, so what is it about, these light workers? Most of these people live in the Western world. They have access to technology. Like they don't really, come from third world countries, kind of a thing. Well, there's light workers everywhere. Like we said, there's different types of light work. But the center of it, the messages that are coming through very strongly are focused in the Western world, right? Where there's technology, where the word can spread. And the reason is that a lot of light workers have chosen to incarnate, and specifically in the United States, because it is one of the most, in quotation marks, right, free countries for freedom of expression. Because that's what light workers need. A platform to speak the truth.
Right here.
And this is, right?
Conversations with Spirit.
This is the place that is the most like open to that. That's why that's happening here. It's not like white privilege. There's a reason why it's happening the way it's happening. You got to move beyond that and into like, what's the truth? Where are we really at? Why is this really going on? If you are like seeking for the truth, you're going to fucking find it. Like you're going to find it.
You shall find. Yeah.
And we don't really worry too much about cussing here. So apologize for that if anybody's offended. But that word just holds power.
Oh, it's an exaltation, man. Exclamation point at the end of a thing.
Here's an interesting question from Dewey. Do you feel, or it wasn't from Dewey, it was from Starseed. Do you feel a connection with a specific planet? I'll ask you that first, Danny.
I don't even know what the name of the planet was, but it was home, and it was a planet of unconditional love. If anybody knows it, please put it in the comments, because I've been searching it out for a long time. 9 months, but yeah, it was one of unconditional love, and everyone just loved on each other, and it was almost like utopia. It was a planet that was just absolute Lemuria, maybe, I don't know, but I had to leave because it was invaded by some scumbags that decided they wanted to rape the place, and they ended up destroying it. And I left before then. I was like, peace out, man. I know where this is going. And I went to a place of absolute war. And they ended up just blowing the planet up. And apparently that was my second home. That was like my cabin in the woods, I guess, but in a very dark fucking woods. And they ended up blowing it up. They're both asteroid fields now, apparently. And they blew the atmosphere off of Mars, I was told, and knocked knocked the world off its axis. Like
knocked Canada off its.
Yeah, I don't know what they were talking about,
oh
but yeah, knocked the world off its axis and gave us a 365-day year instead of a 362 or 3 or something like that. But yeah, though. My home was from unconditional love. That's why my heart weeps, man. And I cried when I was told this. My heart fucking weeps. And it wept that day when I when I see all the shit happening in the world today, and I'm like, dude, why can't we just love? So that's where I'm from. I don't know about you guys.
I've actually had I've had connections. Like there's one image that really like calls me to me. It's that planet Minticon. It's actually in one of the Rebecca Campbell cards. I'll see if I can.
Yeah, I was trying to pull it because that's what feels like home to me.
Well, in the card she says it's the original Lightworkers. So
Right
Minticon is a planet that's no longer in existence. It was a water planet, and it was the original Lightworkers, and they all came to Earth, right? And so if you are somebody who feels like they long for home that's never there, it's likely that you are from Minticon because you long for home because your home doesn't exist anymore. But that's not really the truth, because the truth is that your home is in your heart, right? Your home is in your soul. And the other thing that I've literally had this thought of, I might have, because of the way that I feel in my body, because of the relationship to my body, I can get really like in the light energy, and I'm like floating, and I'm like really comfortable like in that space. And when I'm in my body, I'm like super uncomfortable. And I've had like body stuff my whole life. Like I have a lot of back pain and neck pain and digestion problems. Nobody really knows that, right? And this is something that I'm working on. It's like, and Dawn has noticed too, it's like you're in your body, you're like super uncomfortable in your body. It's like you don't understand it. It's like there's this energy about it. You're like, you can't handle it. It's too much, right? The pain is too much. Everything is too much, right? And there's moments where I've literally thought that it's possible that I have maybe never been in a body before. And that is why it is so uncomfortable to me.
No doubt.
Yeah. And that could be, your experience as well.
Well, there's something for me that I'm drawn to water big time. It's like and that's why I live next to Lake Superior. Is the only place that I've been able to call home is next to a big body of water.
Water definitely calms me down too, for sure.
Yeah. So Minticon could be the place, man. And it's funny too. Well, when my twin was here, she was like, I feel like I was a mermaid in another life or something. And I look at this Minticon picture, and there she is, right?
Yep, exactly.
It's like we were born of water.
Yeah.
Right? We are the original Lightworkers, it says. Longing for home, belonging, the original Lightworkers, Minticonians.
Minticonians. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, this conversation has been awesome.
Dude, I know, and we're still going. And you never even told us the caterpillar story.
Let me tell you that's actually the perfect thing to move into now.
And there was also, the ideas are all Lightworkers, I think, have an empathic ability. Like being an empath is to me, I think everyone has that opportunity to be an empath, but not a lot of us are on that vibration. And I think all Lightworkers are on a vibration of, I don't know, what do you think? Taking on others' energy as their own, and not just sympathizing, but empathizing with people, and having that ability.
It's compassion versus martyrdom.
Yeah. So
the caterpillar story.
All right. Break it down.
Okay, so the caterpillar story is this, okay? This is what happens in a caterpillar's body and cellular structure when it becomes a butterfly. The caterpillar cells are, right, we would say that's the cellular structure of the caterpillar. Let's just call it caterpillar cells, okay? And then these cells in the caterpillar body start to sort of like wake up, like almost like come out of nowhere. And they have a name. They call them the imaginal cells. And I don't think that's a coincidence. The imaginal cells. the imaginal cells start to wake up and they start to find each other. They start to connect with each other. They find each other within the caterpillar's body. And the caterpillar cells start to attack the imaginal cells. Because the caterpillar cells don't want to be anything but caterpillar cells. And so they see the imaginal cells as the enemy, something to attack, something that's here to try to change us, right? But the imaginal cells start to find each other and they start to come together. And then it gets to a point where there's a tipping point. And the caterpillar cells literally become nutritional soup for the imaginal cells. There's nothing in a butterfly's body that says, I was once a caterpillar. Cellular structure. We're talking about cellular structure. There's nothing in a butterfly's body that was once a caterpillar. It is a completely different thing. And that is what you're doing when you're healing. You are becoming something different. You're changing the cellular structure of your body. You're activating your DNA. If you want to learn about activating your DNA, read The Gene Keys by Richard Rudd. That's what it's all about. This story of the caterpillar and the butterfly is the story of healing. It's the story of the phoenix rising from the ashes. You literally burn, you die, and you rise up, you become something else. It's the story of the tower. It's the story of the ascension of the planet. That's what's going on. Just look at the science of the caterpillar becoming a butterfly and you will understand what's going on.
I know I got one more thing that I want to know, and I'm going to ask you this question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So as light workers, can we completely transcend karma?
I like this question.
Is that possible? Okay.
All right. So Dolores Cannon basically has brought up this idea that there is no more karma. We're done with karma. This is the new age. This is the new earth. Okay. Dimensionally, there are people that are going to transition into the new earth. And it's not like you're going to disappear, right? It's not like one day you're going to be like, well, now I'm here. Now, like, we're not going to get zapped out of this three-dimensional reality. It is an awareness that comes to you. Have you ever had an experience of being in public and somehow you feel invisible? Like no one sees you. No one reacts to you. It's almost like you're invisible. Have you ever had that experience?
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's like you're not there. People can't see you. Well, that's because you're in the higher dimension. Energetically, you're in the higher dimension. And so the people that are choosing to stay in the three-dimensional reality, they're energetically going to be stuck there. And the people that choose to ascend are going to ascend. And this can be anybody. Anybody can choose it. It's not like your karma dictates whether you're going to choose it or not. You either choose it or not, and everybody has the freedom now. Now, I believe that it depends on what light worker, where you came from, whether you're in the wheel of karma or not. But here's the deal. Light workers, and here's a whole another like topic about Dolores Cannon that is just phenomenal. If you came from if you've had lifetimes on other planets and you came to Earth, so basically if you're a light worker, you don't have karma on this planet. Like you came here to do your mission and then you need to get out. You don't want to get stuck in the karma wheel, right? Besides the fact that we're in the new earth now and there's, this idea that there is no more karma, but we didn't come here to get stuck in the wheel of karma of earth, right? We come from somewhere else and literally we've been like coded with protection, so that in our lives, as we go through our lifetimes, we really just come here, we do our mission, and then we move on, and then we go back home from where we came from.
That's good to know.
So yeah. So here's one thing that is interesting. A lot of light workers, not all of them, but many of them somehow end up not having kids. Because having kids, for some light workers, having children, it's like they're bringing other light workers in, right? But most of the time, having children is a karmic, it pulls you into the karmic wheel, right? Because then there's the lessons and you're connected to this being, and then they grow. It's like it just kind of locks you into the karmic wheel. And we ain't trying to get locked into the karma wheel.
Unless we're maybe light workers that have a third waiver.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's like, that's why a lot of light workers that do have kids, it's like they have these children that are like from another planet, you know? So that's the deal with that. And so I guess to answer your question is light workers. Oh, there's the other thing. So this is going to blow your mind. In order for light workers who came into the planet that had never had a lifetime on Earth, in order for them to know what it was like to be on Earth, to not be like a fish out of water once they landed, to not act like a complete alien on the planet, to like be completely antisocial because they don't understand anything of how life works here on Earth.
We had to get smacked up.
What's that?
We had to get smacked up.
No.
Okay.
We had to get imprinted with past lives that we haven't actually had, but are in our memories as if we actually had them.
Ah. So
you could trip back in QHHT, in the hypnosis, to another lifetime that you didn't actually have, but it's been an imprint so that you could have a memory of actually having had lifetimes on Earth, so that you know how to be in the planet. And that's something that's like new information.
Cool. The what's really tripping me out, being the light worker, is this full moon in Libra coming up, the second full moon in Libra. It's freaking me out because I don't know, like you listened to Leo King, the Leo King message, and he was saying, welcome to the new earth, baby. And it's going down Good Friday. And there's the 3 days to ascension, 3 days to the new earth that we have after this full moon, that, and then once we're in, that's it. Like, I don't know if anybody in my family will be listening to me after that. Will I be full blown crazy or? But yeah, I like when setting your intentions for this new moon or this full moon, you're letting go. You should be writing of everything that you're letting go and everything that you don't want in your new life, because your new life is now.
We're going to do full moon ceremony tomorrow on this channel.
Nice.
And full moon readings too.
So definitely come out for that.
Yeah. And that's a perfect segue, because this is really about relationships. That's what it's all about. We're in a time right now where the new relationship is not about getting attached to somebody. It's not about infatuation. It's not about, oh, I love you, but it's not codependency, right? It's not anything like that. The new relationships, if you're not in a higher conscious relationship, you're wasting your time. You didn't come here to waste your time. You came here to do the work. So like, get on it. Release that stuff that doesn't serve you. It doesn't matter how much it's going to hurt.
Oh.
If there's relationships in your life that are questionable, people bring you down, people suck the energy out of you, they suck the life out of you, you're like a martyr, you keep putting yourself in situations that hurt you over and over and over and over and over again, Why? Why are you doing that to yourself? Because you're doing it to yourself. No one is forcing you to be in any situation ever. Remember, we have free will. We choose everything. And that leads into, maybe next week what we can talk about is the law of attraction.
Yeah.
We choose everything. We bring it all in.
Dude, we never even talked about oh my God, so many things, right? We never talked about Dark Night of the Soul or Tower Moments or all these things that are on your path. But, maybe we'll have a part 2, or maybe
we did a little bit, about how the way that you get to a certain point is basically those tower moments where you learn and you have to release, and the universe forces you to let go and release.
For sure. Well,
do we have any more questions?
Do I have it in my questions?
I just mean in the chat or whatever you were going to say.
No, I know we're not ending at episode 2. That's for sure. This is going to continue on, hopefully for many, many, many episodes after this, because it just seems like a beautiful venue to speak truth that we've been holding on to. And me and Jai were talking beforehand about all kinds of things. And that's what we came up with was man, we should do this live and invite the tribe in, because there's so much to be heard and so much to be learned. Why are we leaving this just to ourselves? It was kind of selfish almost. So that's why we created this show, and to stir these questions and ideas, and by all means bring them to the next episode, which is probably next Thursday at 9.
Suggestion, you guys, if you have suggestions, well, first of all, please share this out. I can't, there's people that need to hear this. There's people that need to know this, so share it out, share it out on your social media, share it out on literally with your friends, text them the link, put it on Twitter, wherever, Instagram, just tell people about this. Cause I know that this is something that people definitely need to see and hear.
You can personal message me, Cynthia, about your film camera questions.
Yep.
I'll be a light in that darkness.
There you go. There's so many songs that I have. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to play.
Dude, do I get to help you pick now that
yeah.
I don't know. It might even be, I don't know. I'm not even gonna say that, but oh my God. I don't know the name of the songs, but
okay, here's the options, okay?
Okay.
Meet Me in the Stars, I Forgive, The Hardest Part, or actually it's called Eclipse, and then Portal of Love.
Dude, I love Portal of Love. I know Leanne loves that, so that would totally be one. And the first one was
Meet Me in the Stars?
Was the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star one.
Yeah. Well, we were going to do that one because Adrian mentioned the stars.
Oh, right on. Cool.
So we're going to do that one for sure. It's, I mean, if you guys don't mind, I can play actually all 4 of these songs for you guys.
Oh, have at her.
What do you think? Does that sound good?
Yeah. They probably won't catch it in the replay, but shh. That'll be our little secret. Nothing. I'll talk to you later about analytics. I'm like, fuck analytics. Let's get our tunage on. Let's raise the vibration through tunage.
Through tunage. Wait, no, I know. I'm curious about it now. Okay, I'm going to look at comments real quick. This has been an amazing session. Thanks, Jessica. All right. Who's new to my songs? So Danny, what you're going to have to do, just while I play, is to mute yourself. So
I was going to sing. Be your backup singer. All right, I'll be a mute me.
Oh my God. Should I do speaker mode?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to do
Yeah.
speaker mode. Yeah.
Get me right out of the equation. I don't need this.
All right, here we go. Daddy's going to be my backup singer. All right, let's do a little mic check and stuff, and you can talk. You know, we can't hear you. Your mic is muted.
I just wanted to make sure it was off. But yeah.
All right, let's see. Gonna plug this baby in.
Dude, I feel like I'm live in concert with you.
You are.
Yeah. Woo!
Oh my God, that's too funny. I don't know. What do you guys want the speaker view or the both of us? No, let's do speaker view, yeah?
Yeah, let's do speaker view. I'll just peace out.
Oh my God. Okay. I need to bring this mic closer.
Yeah, I could be that obnoxious rap guy that's like, yo, 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 what's up? While you're singing kind of thing. Like Eminem back. Yeah, motherfucking Lightworker, yo.
I should do that song "Prayers to the Sun" too.
Ooh.
We'll just have fun with it. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Check. All right, here we go. Okay, this song is called "Meet Me in the Stars." Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder where you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder where you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky, like a diamond in the sky, like a diamond in the sky. I think the battery's dying on my.
Yeah, you definitely have sound. You definitely have sound issues.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna start over because I got to get a new battery.
And I think is your lapel mic on still too?
No.
Okay.
No, it's the battery. So apologize, you guys. It's hilarious. So, will you like chat it up for a minute while I go get a new battery for the guitar?
All right. I'm like, yo, I'm a motherfucking Lightworker, yo. I can start rapping. I suck at freestyle, so
I'll be right back.
after these messages.
Yeah, the battery of the guitar when it goes off, it stops being able to project into like the system, the cable.
So I'm gonna go to the cards.
Yeah, do it.
Bam, because I already pulled some. And the The message here is the Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, 3 aces. Oh my God. The Moon and the Ace of Pentacles. And the messages that come through off these beautiful cards is the Ace of Swords, breakthrough and awareness. Really what we're speaking to tonight is Northern Comfort Wrapper. Nice one, Allie. Coming into your own light is the breakthrough and awareness. That's that spark of essence that initiates the love inside you and the love in the planet. So it's once we come upon this awakening, we can never turn back. There is no turning back. It's funny what speaks to me is what hurts me the most, because we've done what is your favorite moments of being a light worker. My saddest moments of being a light worker is witnessing those that are on the cusp of awakening, that have seen the light within you, and truly, you get this essence of them wanting to come into the light, but they pause for a moment and they see that the darkness has kept them company. The darkness has been their comfort for such a long time that they turn back and they turn away. And I think that to me is, oh my God, that hurts my heart so much. And it's something that's taken so many people that I love away from me, is they turn back into the darkness for whatever reason, for having to learn and go through more shit just to appreciate the light. I'm not too sure. And it really, oh my God, like it brings up so much emotion in me. But this breakthrough and awareness, this spark that you have to offer this planet is an initiation of love. And really, it's the wisest investment, dude. Oh my God. Oh my God, I didn't even see this. I have all 4 aces on the table right now. All 4 aces came out with the Moon. I don't even know where to go. And at the bottom of the deck, it's the King of Pentacles, steady progress. Steady progress is what the universe is saying to us. Steady the course, my friends. Steady the course, my love. It's your true essence. And this Moon must have, must have some significance if it's coming out as an 18, or which transmutes into a 9, which is, moving forward out of the illusion. We are the creators of our existence on this planet. I've never seen 4 aces. If this was a poker hand, do you think I'd win? Do you think we'd win? Man, that is so beautiful. I can't believe Jai missed it. I'm gonna have to tell her catch the replay. I think she's replayed our episode 1 like probably 4 times all the way through. Yeah. Are you here? Are you amidst our presence?
Yeah.
Dude, you want to know? Or should I?
Yeah. I was kind of listening, but yeah, tell me.
Should I make you watch the replay? I know you're going to watch it anyways. All 4 aces came up.
I heard you saying that.
Dude, that freaked me out, man.
Moley?
That freaked me out.
Oh my God.
Which is 1111. Mind blown. And the Moon came out.
Woo!
Yeah. Oh, and then the bottom of the deck, steady progress is the message. Steady progress, the Knight of Pentacles. Steady progress, my light workers.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm freaked out now. I'm in so much love right now. Like, it's just, wow. I feel great.
Dang.
Jai, when is the ceremony tomorrow?
Ooh, I haven't actually set the time yet.
Oh, she said, Dewey said I pulled the cards at 11:11. That's a lot of fucking synchronicity, man. Holy.
Oh my God. So, I don't know what time. I'll have to like look at my schedule. Maybe I'll do an announcement video again. It'll probably be in the evening. Because that's the time that most people can actually be a part of it.
7 Mountain, 9 Eastern.
We could let's just do 7 p.m., like 9 p.m. Eastern. What does that sound like to you guys? Or should I go a little earlier?
Same time, same bat channel.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Does that sound good? 9 p.m. Eastern, the same time as today? I can definitely go with that. All right.
Aaron's like, will I be a part of the live? I'm like, nah. Jai does a pretty good job on her own, so I'll be standing out of this one.
Oh yeah.
But
Okay.
I'll be beating my drum at home though, that's for sure.
There we go. Yeah, let's do same time tomorrow. And I also have, okay, so I'm gonna do the anyways, we'll talk about it after I sing. I'll definitely make sure you guys know. I'll get the word out. Here we go. You guys ready? Hey, Angie. I didn't even know you were in here. The song is called Meet Me in the Stars. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder where you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder where you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky, like a diamond in the sky, like a diamond in the sky. Listen to the wind, it speaks to you. Follow the jaguar into the deepest part of your subconscious mind. Drink from the nectar of love like hummingbirds soar high above the mountain like eagle. Know yourself deeply. Listen to the warrior within. She can grow unless its roots reach deep into the earth. Take it one day at a time. Feel Mother Earth holding you each step of the way, each step of the way. Everything is lives intertwined in the beautiful matrix of life. Go with the flow. Allow yourself this opportunity to learn, to heal, to know. You already know how to fly. You just forgot to let go. What weighs you down? Let your soul take the wheel and watch your spirit soar way up into the sky, so you can finally see we are one. We are all one. We are all one. We are all one.
Oh.
Now we'll meet you in the stars. So I'll meet you in the stars. 'Cause there's no end to this beautiful light. There's no end to this magic we call life. Now we'll meet you in the stars. Yes, I will meet you in the stars. When we become one once again. When we connect to that pure light. And we can travel through dimensions. And we can be everywhere at once. And then we'll meet you in the stars. Oh, I will meet you in the stars. 'Cause I will see you so, so bright. And I will meet you in the stars.
Nice.
That's a nice.
Very nice.
Sorry, I had to get a word in there.
That's awesome. It's all good. I was just laughing.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for the comments and the hearts.
I just wanted to say too, before I forget, that next week, when a Conversations for Spirit episode 3, whichever topic we decide, it'd be nice. You know, we love taking your suggestions on things to talk about. And if you can, once this program is done, you can leave it in the comment section down below. But next time it'll be on my channel, which is not Channel for Grace. It's Northern Comfort Tarot. So tune in then. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you'll get the notifications.
You can ring my bell. Ring the bell.
Ding, ding, dong. Ding, ding, dong. So back to
the way the camera's switching to me and you is hilarious.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention. I'll have to watch the replay now.
I know. Oh my God. Okay, should I keep going?
Keep going, yeah.
All right. Okay, so this next one is called I Forgive.
from chains and of freedom. You were both the darkness and the light. I could see your angels and your demons. You were both a mirror and my eyes, my eyes. If it wasn't for you, I would not know my value. If it wasn't for this, I would still be lost. Isn't it funny how something so damaging can be exactly what you need? So who am I to judge? I see how beautiful you are in your essence, in your journey, in your life. I see no need to change you. You are beautiful, just the way you are. I found in the darkness a gift to me. I just got through my pain, my power to be. I realize in my anger, my strength to take action, and I've awakened through my despair, the courage to never give up. So am I to judge? Oh, am I to judge? Oh, am I to judge? Oh, am I to judge? If you listen, if you watch closely, there is no need to repeat your mistakes. Drop the weight, feel the release. You were meant for so much more, but who am I to judge? Oh, am I to judge? Oh, am I to judge? Oh, 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 Who am I to judge?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, I know this is live and everything, but I kind of noticed something happening when you're strumming and singing. Is your settings in your audio on Zoom to automatically adjust?
Let me check it real quick.
Yeah, because it only hits your, as soon as you hit the strum, it accents the strum, but it does, or it accents the hit, but it doesn't allow the follow through. I'm just wondering, I'm curious.
The so the input is the Bose.
Yeah, that's the Bose, and that like in your microphone input, and then underneath it should say there's a box that can be checked or unchecked for automatic adjustment, where your volume slide is, your mic volume slide is.
Oh, is it a little? What's too loud? The guitar or the voice?
Well, both. They kind of like when they hit their peaks, it kind of gets dulled, and then it comes back, and then it gets dulled and comes back. So
Okay.
if that's an automatic setting, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm just like,
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Zoom's driving me nuts, I'm thinking. And it's good to go through this live too, I guess. Like we are evolving, all of us, on this Lightworker journey. And so is Zoom.
I'm gonna put both mics a little bit lower just in case on the
Okay.
Bose.
Okay. But beautiful. Don't you think, you guys? Don't you think that Jai's songs are just like totally inspiring and everything? It's just, oh, my heart. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now.
Thank you guys for all those comments. I was just so yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the sound. Hopefully it'll fix it, but it's whatever. Supposedly it's coming in through Zoom and now it's coming, I mean, it's in through Bose and now it's coming out into, like, now I hear you in my headphones instead of, so we'll see, maybe that'll change it. All right, so what do you think? Eclipse or Portal of Love? Thanks, guys.
I'm feeling Portal, but Tim might rip my head off for talking more. So
Oh, I think I'll do, okay, let's do Eclipse and then Portal of Love because they kind of flow one into the other. All right, you guys ready? Trying to understand this crazy life we live. Every once in a while we get thrown off the horse. Leadership comes with responsibility to be aware and to serve. This feels cloudy again. Thoughts won't stop rushing through my head. Loving confused. What's It is a gift and a curse to feel so deeply. It is beautiful and scary to be so in tune. It is amazing and devastating to be so aware, but it is a responsibility. You have been gifted, oh, gifted with you. Have been gifted, gifted with. Speak your truth now. Stand your ground now. Say what you mean. Don't hold anything back. Speak your truth now. Stand your ground now. Say what you mean. Don't hold anything back. Speak your truth now. Stand your ground now. Say what you need. Don't hold anything back. Speak your truth now. Stand your ground now. Say what you need. Don't hold anything back. Be the example others need to hear. Even if it means you will disappoint sometimes. Because no one learns if everyone hides. 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 When all you want to do is hide, you have to step up. When all you want to do is run away, you have to stay and stand your ground. When all you want to do is break down, you have to help others understand. You have to help others understand. You are the light. 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 You are the light.
For a second, I thought that was a glass of wine emoji you put up, Danny.
She is.
Thanks for all those hearts, you guys. That's so sweet.
Yes, that's the YouTube version of Super Hearts, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Someone asked, when's the album coming out?
I know. Well, I had this this idea that I think I'm just going to sell like MP3 files like on my website. Like I'm going to sell the songs on my website and then eventually like put it on iTunes just cuz it's like it just needs to be out there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my first guess was iTunes, but do what you can do and put something out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'll do one more. Does that sound good?
Sounds good. It's 11:44, my number.
Yeah.
And I forgot to press record. You were
On the
supposed to
video?
You were supposed to remind me, dude. Damn it.
Is it still possible?
It might be. I'd have to look into it.
Okay.
That's my problem.
No. All right, this is Danny's favorite. Called Portal of Love.
That's a portal of love.
There's nothing like the stillness to show me who I am. In the silence, I can hear my mind racing, running, asking, wondering what about this? It must be nothing, it's just speaking, the wind begins to carry my words through and through. In the echoes I can hear Spirit saying, trust your heart. Trust your heart. Trust your heart. Trust your heart. Know that you want the best of me. I know that you want me to be me. I know that you want me to be me. But is that what I want for me? What I want for me. Speaking, the wind begins to carry my words through and through. In the echoes I can hear Spirit saying, trust your heart. Trust your heart. Trust your heart. Trust your heart. Let my heart speak, and the sounds I hear are elevating like shimmers of light, flashes in the sky. A portal of love opens its doors, and I step through. Can I leave behind all of this fear takes over me? But I see a hand reaching out to me. I am not alone. Oh, I can move mountains. I can feed my soul. I can take care of my body, my mind, and my heart. I can choose to be free. I can choose to be free. Speaking the wind begins to carry my words through and through. In the echoes I can hear Spirit saying, trust your heart. 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 Unsung, wahe guru, 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 unsung, wahe. Trust your heart, trust your heart, trust your heart, trust your heart.
That was Jago Bend with Portal of Love. Here on Conversations with Spirit.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thanks for giving me the space to do that too, Danny. I appreciate it. Just kind of chilling and hanging out.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys all for being here.
That was an incredible night. I think this is like even better than the first one.
And I think they're going to just keep getting better and better.
Damn yeah.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Whoa, that just like put me in the zone.
Right on. Love your necklace, by the way, and getting all dolled up.
Yeah, this is my my Merkaba.
No shite. I was gonna order one from Twin Flame Revolution. They've got Merkabas that are
Nice.
Yeah, and it looks exactly like that. I got to get me one.
Get you one. I had this one actually made for me by this guy named Richie Jai.
Could be the same dude.
It's made of gold.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
looks like
Hey.
looks exactly the same. Like it's pretty gnarly, dude. Yeah. Yeah. She's a beauty.
Dude.
Dude.
Nice. Yeah, I'm out of it now.
Yeah.
The zone of love. Oh, thanks, Rebecca. Thank you, guys. That's a big word, Merkava. That's funny. I think that song just validated the entire night. Nice. Yes, share this video out, you guys. Oh, and the kitty cat came over.
Yeah, I had to let her in. She was like ripping the door apart.
Oh my God. So thank you guys so much for being here. I think that I think we are complete.
I'm feeling pretty fulfilled.
Yeah, no, we had a freaking great conversation, man.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Spirit with the 4 aces. What? And the moon.
What? Dude, oh my God, we're moving into a full moon tomorrow, you guys. Let me see if I can look at my schedule real quick and then kind of set the times for tomorrow.
Cool.
Oh, okay. I see. So I had it scheduled at 5 p.m. and at 7 p.m. my time. So we'll do the all signs. We'll go through all the signs and do the spiritual evolution readings for the full moon. So the individual readings at what is that? 5, 6, that's 7 p.m. Eastern. And then once I'm done with that, we'll go right into the full moon ceremony. So everybody gets a reading and then we all do the ceremony together.
Okay, ma.
Thank you guys so much. Oh my God, this was so amazing.
Hey, you're welcome, Terry. It's actually a pleasure to be here and to serve you guys and to take questions and try and answer them and have spirit at the table as well. It's just truly fulfilling on my behalf. I don't know about you, Jai, but it's just like,
no, this is beautiful. Like this is what we're here for.
Yeah, it's totally what I envisioned it to be. So
we appreciate you guys so much. I mean, we couldn't do this without you guys, right?
Absolutely. And that's why we're doing it too.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you for participating in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. And share this video out. Let's keep getting the word out. And we'll be back next week. I'm good for Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So next week, Thursday, we're going to be live on Northern Comfort Tarot. So Danny's channel, doing Conversations with Spirit. And we'll do a video to announce the topic and everything. And we'll be announcing it in our videos between now and then also. So just be on the lookout for that. This is going to happen on a weekly basis, which is I'm so excited about.
It's what gets me pumped.
Yeah.
I'm stoked for Thursdays.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you guys have suggestions, then just leave them in the comments.
And if we're not here next Thursday, it's because we've transcended to the new earth and
you can't see us anymore. No, I'm just kidding. No, love you guys. And we'll see you again very soon.
Love you.
Satnam, everybody.
Satnam, everybody.